TV, huh?
Now I got it. It should be rocking and rolling. We should be all over now. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did it. So I got a green check. It says you are in control.
Right on.
Which arm is it? Your right or your left?
It's actually both, but today we're getting the left one done.
Okay.
How long did you have to wait before you got that done?
This wasn't that long, but I'm waiting on operations. But they're looking at it's going to be a year before I even get to see the specialist.
Wow.
Then it'll be put on another waiting list to get the operations done. So.
Whoa.
The joys of being old, Getting old.
Yeah.
My dad always said it's hell to get old.
You got socialized health care down there?
So there's normal health care, which is what this will be on, or you can get private, which was what you guys would probably have. Like we had called it private, and if I was on private, I'd get in straight away. But
yeah,
here there's just normal, the government pays for everything, but you got to go on waiting lists.
I ain't got any guests this week, man. I've been laying around shack. I tell you what, man, it's been raining so much up here in Hiawassee. I ain't had no time to do nothing. And it cleared off for a day or two, so I've been trying to catch up on the outside stuff. We went down there and loaded that load of metal up, and I've got enough for 2 roll-offs, and he brought another one in, so I've got to get down there and get it loaded up. But I ain't had a chance to work on no cars much other than just tractors. What about y'all? What y'all got going on?
We went down to that Clarksville swap meet yesterday and drove past your house, and then today we went down, drove past your house, and picked up a 454 from a guy over in Hiawassee. And so my dad wanted to pick up another engine for some reason.
Who'd you get it from?
I think the kid's name was Brian, if I remember right. Younger guy. His buddy Chris had a 91 Camaro. Was getting some exhaust work done. They're a bunch of hot rodders. They lived off some of the back roads back there. He had his 454 without cylinder heads. My dad's got a good set of cylinder heads, but no block to bolt them on. So now he'll be able to complete another motor. He'll have 2 spares.
So y'all have to go way up on the head through Hiawassee, all the way up on 76. Is that the way y'all went towards?
Yeah. Man, trying to remember the name of it.
Scataway.
Yes, that was the name of the road. Took left on Scataway, went up in there, and passed the church, and then took a left on a little side road there too.
Yeah, I know that boy. He rents from me. That's one of my houses.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He really
is.
Yeah,
real nice guy.
Yep. Just to add up.
Steve owns half of Hiawassee.
I'm a slumlord, man. I'm a slumlord.
More money than the Queen.
Yeah, I wish. You're queen.
You're making money every way you can.
Oh, you got to, man. What's been Copperhead, man? I know we've been talking about this analytic stuff going on with YouTube, and I can't figure it out. I mean, honestly, it's just up and down and back and forth. I get one that hit 300,000, then the next one I put 100 and maybe 200 or something like that. It's just crazy. Yeah.
And it's funny sometimes the things you think they're going to go real good, they fizzle.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way it goes.
That's true.
How was that swap meet down there? I seen somebody actually posted a video up. I don't know who it was down there to that.
There was it's funny, I forgot to video it, but I ended up finding stuff for everybody else except for me. One guy on our way out, he came out and looked at my dad. He goes, "This swap meet sucks," and I don't think it did. I think it was a decent swap meet. I think it's got a good potential to become a nice big venue. I don't know, just because I didn't find anything I wanted, there was still some cool stuff there. There was everything from, your typical Chevy and Ford stuff. There was Mopar stuff. There was C10 parts. There was Volkswagen parts, a little bit of everything, just nothing I needed, So I think it was a pretty decent swap meet. It was, they had some indoor spaces and stuff. So it was kind of cool.
There's indoor and outdoor. They had indoor and outdoor.
Yeah. I don't know do you remember when there was a car show there for in Clarksville?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the same grounds, those little fairgrounds there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's so it's the guy that does the North Georgia swap meets that used to be at Commerce.
Yeah,
he's trying to find a spot, and he's kind of locked in there for I think until at least September. So it should keep growing, get better and better.
Bigger and bigger. I need to load up a bunch of junk and take down there, man.
Yeah, it was cold, man. We froze our asses off all morning, and I like it's funny. Since I moved down here, I don't see many skunks. I used to smell skunks and see skunks all the time when I was up in New York, and we saw a whole bunch of dead ones yesterday. I said to my dad, "Man, I saw a lot of dead skunks today." And my dad rode down with me. He goes, "Yeah, me too." We saw the same ones. He goes, "You saw 8? I saw 8." He goes, "That's 16 dead skunks." I said, "No, we're heading home. We're going to see another 16." That's 32 dead skunks.
Jeez.
It's, it was probably 8 or 9 dead skunks or so. It was kind of a weird thing. But,
We didn't have any skunks growing up till all y'all up north started moving back down here. I don't know what
that must be what it is. I mean, we used to see them all the time up north, and I didn't actually. Last year was the first time I even started to smell skunks around here, and the first time in our life that my dad's dog got sprayed by a skunk.
Yeah.
Both
What do
dogs.
they smell like?
What's that?
What do they smell like?
They smell bad.
You don't want it. You don't want to smell it.
It's
You
not
ever
like
smell? You ever smell pencil erasers?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they got like a smell of pencil eraser, but really, really strong, real
It's
pungent.
not like a dead smell. It's not like a dead smell. It's more
No,
like-
it's a real pungent, real musky smell. You guys have Copperhead? You got ferrets?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that slight musky smell a ferret has.
No, I won't go near any of that stuff.
It's a really strong, pungent smell. You know,
They say that that'll kill that if a dog gets a direct spray into the face, that it can kill it if you don't.
Really?
yeah, they can mess with their eyes and stuff pretty good. You know,
I
so-
don't know if
The
they
respiratory system and everything.
Yeah.
All I know about skunks is like Pepe Le Pew.
yeah,
There you
Yeah.
go.
yeah.
I'm with you.
They're usually
Yeah.
not that affectionate.
Yeah.
But I have heard that if you're calm, you can approach them in the wild and actually not get sprayed at all. But I'm not going to test that theory.
No, they won't. They would not. You just really. I mean,
Yeah.
you really have to get on them.
They'll give you
I'm like
warning.
Copperhead. I don't go around them things. I ain't worried about it.
You
We got
don't take
armadillos
it.
down here now. We never had armadillos for years. We got armadillos down here.
I've seen armadillos all the way up into Bryson City.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a. And did you know? Fun fact: armadillos are the only other species besides humans that can get leprosy.
Yeah.
So if you
Huh.
see a 9-banded armadillo, and it only has 7 bands, and it's trying to hang on to those 7, don't touch it.
Okay, got you.
Because it
Word
must
otherwise.
be leprosy.
I don't know. I'm not a big. My boys they hunt and fish and all that stuff. I don't do none of that. I never was out. I was raised in the woods. If I don't do something, I'll go to the racetrack or something. You know what I'm saying?
I always liked the outdoors. I was never a hunter or anything like that, but
I mean, if there's a squirrel jumps up and I got a gun, I'm gonna shoot it.
I can't hunt. All I can do is cook. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
So,
I can't do that, man. The bacon I cooked the other day, I forgot it was on the grill and burned it to nothing.
oh, you should have been in my house. I did a pork belly today. I got up this morning and smoked pork belly.
Really?
And, it
Nice.
was pretty dang good.
I've had a pretty shitty day already today, all day.
Oh, you and your wife fighting?
No, man, it's just like when I had to go get that engine for my dad, it just was one of those things where it was just one thing after the other. I went down to get my trailer, and because of all the rain, it got all muddy. So I went down with the Jeep, pulled it out, and spun the tires pretty hard trying to get it out of the yard. And then I had to hose the trailer off with mud, and just one of those days just seemed like everything went wrong. I've had a hankering for maple frosted donuts for like 3 weeks now, and they haven't had them at Dunkin' Donuts. So I stopped in today, and there was 4 of them left. And I stood there at the damn counter for 5 minutes, and nobody came to help us. So I was like, forget it, and I left. And it just like one of those days where everything that could go wrong went wrong.
You know, you talk about your dad. I don't know how y'all are, but if I'm
Maybe
gonna work on something, I've got to fix what I'm gonna work with before I can work on. Does that make sense? It's like
Yeah.
we went down and loaded that scrap metal up. I had to work on the backhoe. We had to work on it for a half a day before I could get it back going.
Yeah,
Well, I
man.
could go down there and load the metal.
Like everything I got is well worn out.
Yeah, you have to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So,
I got the rat rod on the lift. I got to pull the motor out because the pan gasket leak. I need another 1.5 inches more clearance on the cross member to be able to get the pan off, and I don't have it, so I got to pull the motor out to be able to swap that gasket. So I put it on the lift 4 or 5 days ago and haven't been able to even look at it since. You know.
it's aggravating. Copperhead's been busy down there. That last video you put up, Copperhead. Well, the last couple of videos you put up, I thought were really good, man.
Thanks. Which one did you see? Did you see the Bedford one?
I seen.
Yeah.
Was it the Bedford one? Yep, it was. Where you
I
done?
make hubcaps out of salad bowls.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You like them?
Cool. Yeah, that was cool. You
I
know,
think that was all right.
I saw one guy down. That must be something that you do just south of the equator, because I saw a guy down South Africa do that once.
Yeah, that's where I pitched the idea from.
They did, yeah. That was a good video.
Yeah, I told him at the end. I said I told him I was going to pinch it, and I said at the very end of it that I gave him a shout out for pinching his idea.
There you go.
That's nice.
But yeah, then the other one, the patina stuff. Well, I've never seen anyone do that. Like use Danish oil and stuff. They always use boiled linseed, and then I went to buy some, and it was like $70, and I'm like, stuff that. I've got wood oil at home, so I went and did some research, and I don't know. From what I researched, what I did should work even better. So,
cool.
Because they're saying that Danish oil basically derives from boiled linseed, but it has polyurethane added, so it dries quicker. So, I mixed it up. I just did like a little bit of a mad scientist little thing, and yeah, it seems to have worked. It seems to have dried off and done what I wanted.
I really appreciated your accuracy of the mix. It was like,
did you like that?
You put in that much, and then we just put a little bit more.
And then I wasn't sure if I was meant to put mineral salt or methylated spirit, so I just put a bit of each in.
I had I used to have a car lot, and it was a gravel dirt lot is what I had. It wasn't paved, it was a gravel dirt lot, and I had a guy that worked for me. And he got out there one day and had a couple of cars that was really dull. And he got out there with transmission fluid, and he wiped them whole cars down with transmission fluid. Man, they look good. They shine, Lord of mercy. Next morning we come in there, you couldn't tell what color it was for all the dust that stuck to
the next day it was still a little bit tacky, but now the next day after it was all completely dried off. So
okay,
yeah, it worked.
Cool.
But it's come up a treat. It looks really nice. I think in the flesh, it makes the patina really pop. So
yeah,
something different.
Yeah. And
that was cool, man. Good.
You posted one of your pictures. I was watching it, one of your shorts. You had a big old lizard there trying to climb up a wall. What the heck was that, man?
An iguana.
That's a goanna.
I mean, that looked like it was huge. How big is that thing?
Yeah, it's about that was about 1.5 meters, but they grow 3 times the size of that one.
Wow.
Would you call him Fred? Is that what you call him, Fred?
That's a little baby one, Fred. Oh, Fred's like a couple of years old. Fred's another one, same sort of lizard, but the one growing up the wall, that's Stumpy. So he's got Stumpy. A bit of his tail chopped off.
Yeah, so that was the one you had in the one Bedford video when he was sitting in the road.
Yeah, that one, that's Stumpy. Yeah, so Stumpy was in the front yard a while back, and he went like cruising through the front yard, and I just put a short up, and he jumps up the retaining wall.
Okay.
Will them things fight snakes, or do they get along with snakes?
No, they smash snakes. That's what they live on, basically. So that's why I don't mind them hanging around.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
But they were like they're very vicious. So like that little one, Fred, the one I said, Fred. Mm-hmm. I was zoomed in a fair bit on him, and I was approaching him pretty cautiously because, they're quick as. And if they bite you, so my mate's a snake bloke. And he hates those goannas because they've got that much bacteria in them. And when they bite you, it's really, really bad. So they won't kill you with poison, but they're
make you sick.
The bacteria in it, it's a real nasty wound, But their skin is that thick that the snakes can't penetrate them, so they actually smash the snakes. Yeah.
Nice. Now, do they acclimate to humans? They get kind of used to you and then tolerate you, or
they're like that little one, Fred. He's been around for a couple of years now, and he scares the bejeebers out of me every time because he blends in so well. And I just go stumbling down to the shed like with my eyes half closed, and then I hear this rustle, and I jump back, and there's Fred scaricking off, But the big one, Stumpy, he'll just walk straight past me.
Oh, really? So he
ain't scared of me. He just cruises past like within a meter or so. He'll just like look at you and then just go and keep just slowly plodding along. And
so as long as you're not messing with him, he's not going to bother you.
Nah, as long he knows I'm not going to do anything to him, so he's pretty cool.
That's cool.
How long do they live?
I couldn't tell you that, but they live a long time. So that's one that's called Stumpy. That like he's probably 1.5 meters long, nearly, like nose to tail. But then there's another one that lives at my mate's down the back of his, and he's probably 4 times the size. So they'll grow like they'll have those legs of theirs will be like a foot long. So they'll be like 1.5 feet tall, you know, and then like maybe 2 meters long.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
big.
that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll probably be like maybe a foot round. 40 years. There, the boss just looked it up on the internet. 40 years they lived.
Let me ask you this question. My wife asked me that. Them dang kangaroos. What does kangaroos eat? I mean, do they just eat vegetable? What do they eat?
Yeah, they just eat grass and stuff.
So they're like a horse.
They're herb. They don't eat meat at all. Yeah, they're herbivores. They don't eat meat.
They're kind of like Australia's deer, aren't they?
Yeah, basically, yeah. The deer are like a bit like a pest, aren't they, over there?
Yeah, you get them all over the place. They like to run your car.
So over here, they're like a pest. So I think we're the only country that puts animal that we shoot on their coat of arms.
Well, now we eat deer, man. I don't know if you can eat kangaroo, but now
Yeah, you can eat kangaroo. It's very tender. Like it's you probably wouldn't mind it. I don't like. It's a bit gamey for us, but like it's quite nice, really.
Are you basing that assumption?
Vegemite probably help it.
Are you basing the assumption that he'd like to eat it based on how he ate the Vegemite?
Oh,
So with the kangaroo, you're meant to just basically sear it. You're not meant to really cook it much.
right.
But yeah, you'd probably. I wouldn't follow Steve's advice on eating Australian food.
I don't know, man. If there's a steak there, I'm gonna eat the steak. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna eat steak. That's what I'm all about. But I'd like to try it. I've eaten alligator and I don't know what all else. I got some rabbit now. I got some rabbit down there.
Did you try that rabbit?
I got rabbit. Hadn't my boys coming in back from flight training Monday, and that's when we're gonna cook it Monday.
We used to eat rabbit down here back in the day, like when there was the Great Depression. They couldn't get any decent meat, so they used to eat rabbits.
Well, they say rabbit's good. I don't know. I've never eaten a rabbit.
What would you say? I'm not a real fan.
wow.
What was that? Oh, that was it.
You just had a new guest on.
Yeah.
Get him back.
Come here. Muncie, here. Come on, get up here.
What's his name? Or her
Muncie.
name? Muncie?
Yeah, he's named after a 4-speed. Come on.
I know.
Rabbits a bit
Right
gamey.
away. Hey, Muncie. Bye, Muncie.
Hey,
Man, that's an ugly dog.
Well, he'll never be on your show again.
come here.
Well, even you said that about putting the dogs on, and like we've been talking about the dogs, like all of the big channels. You always see snippets of their dogs.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Dogs are great, man.
My dog lives just about lives up there at the shop. I reckon Mike, he's my mechanic that hangs around with us all the time. He brought a cat in there because we got rats. I mean, I don't know if y'all have trouble with rats, but I live right next to the woods, man. We've got trouble with rats and all that stuff. I mean, they're in and out. So he got a cat. He thought, I'll take care of these daggum rats. But between Moonshine, the dog, and we got a big hawk, I don't know. That cat didn't last about 2 days. We can't find the cat. So I don't know if Moonshine got the cat or if the hawk did, one or the other, but they're gone.
They're the dog named Moonshine.
My dog is named Moonshine.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. I tell everybody my wife likes Moonshine better than she does me, and they think she's a drunk. He's getting old, man. He's what, 12, I guess, maybe 12. He's got to where he can't get around much. He's hobbling around and all that kind of stuff. But we've had he's a big dog. Yep. And then we got a Chihuahua mixed with a Dachshund.
Okay.
And he thinks he's Mr. Tough Guy. You know how them little dogs are. They got little man syndrome,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah,
got
little
the worst
dogs. That's
mouth.
what we got, little dogs.
Yeah, he's got the worst mouth on him whatsoever. I mean, he is, it just pierces your ears when he barks. I'm like, I'm gonna zip his mouth together or something, So I like the little Chihuahuas. I had a Chihuahua save my life one time.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I killed a bear. Absolutely killed a bear. You were laughing. He did. I swear he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he choked him to death.
It's fucking truck to him.
So he was
I
being eaten?
just about had a truck go up the back of me.
Do what now?
Oh, I just about had a semi-trailer smash into me.
Well,
Oh,
let me
really?
let me zoom you in here real good because that would
He
be
was
good
trying
for
to get on-
ratings.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Now
There you
look at
go.
that. We get
I
good
can
ratings.
see him in the background. Which way do I got to look?
See now,
It's
now this
just
is
about
different.
down the
'Cause we
bumper.
can sue them. We'll have them on tape.
Yeah.
Right.
See, we were in the. Yeah, we're liable to be abused today. We're in my car, so we normally get abused when we're in this.
Really?
Yeah, we're in my black Merc, and I don't know what it is, but we always stop people road raging us and giving us the finger. And
Ah,
Maybe it's because
Wow.
you're a terrible driver, man.
the
Get
car's
off
like
the sidewalk, man. Get off the
It's a
sidewalk.
the car's pretty nice. It's pretty pimped out looking. It's all blacked out and everything. And yeah, every time we drive it, we get harassed.
that's because he drives 20 miles an hour in the fast lane with his left directional on.
Yeah, basically. Well, you're allowed to, aren't you? When you're in a Merc.
There you go. When you say
Here he
Merc, I
comes.
think of Mercury, but you're talking.
There he goes, freaking wanker.
Well, yeah.
Oh, he tried to like hit me then.
Well, this is gonna get good. Let me zoom him in, y'all.
This is
Nah, he
Keep that in there on them.
go, but he had a big wide load and he just swerved at me, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I
Just so
had-
he took me so he could drive in front of me.
Oh, great. Now he'll slow down.
now we get to see him.
Well, I know what's wrong. You're on the wrong side of the road.
Wait, hey, turn the camera again. Turn the camera towards him again.
Yeah, I think his amphetamines kicked into him.
Yeah, you're on the wrong side of the daggone road.
You got to turn the camera back around towards him again for a second.
You want to?
Yeah. There you go. We'll do it. Come on. That's what you get. Okay.
I don't think you've seen it.
All the way from the United States.
Yeah. Sheesh, that
I
was
flipped him
tough.
off for you, Copperhead.
That's the way he does, man. He starts
Pardon?
up a fight when he's 4,000 miles away from you.
I flipped him the bird for you.
Yeah. Oh, did
Now
you?
he's gonna come back and get you, Copperhead.
Hey, Jim, man, you keep up with all them folks out there in California. You know, Jay Leno, man, he's had a run roll of it, ain't he? He had a thing, got set on fire,
Yeah.
and then he had a motorcycle wreck.
Yep.
And while he's recuperating, they canceled his show.
Yeah.
Yep. 3 for 3.
First he crashed into a police car, and then he got in the motorcycle wreck, and then they canceled the show.
He crashed into a police car.
Yeah, right at the first gig he was going to go do after he healed up.
Oh yeah.
He was pulling in a tire of whatever he was driving, clipped the police car. Didn't do any damage or anything, but it was just kind of an embarrassing moment for him.
There's a Tesla, I think he was driving.
Yes, that's right. That's what it was.
Well, that's good enough for him if he's driving a dang Tesla.
Yeah.
So what? Reckon why they canceled it, Jay Leno? This Jay Leno's garage. I mean, he's still got the YouTube thing going on.
Yeah, I
Well,
heard
think
it was
well,
excited to say things.
NBC was changing. NBC, whatever, SN or whatever the hell it is. They're changing their format. And they're getting rid of a lot of the TV shows that are on it. They're going to some new format, which I don't know what it is.
They got to go to more woke stuff, probably.
No, they're getting away from that business, man. I reckon they're finding out that ain't making them no money. So I think everybody's kind of slowly going away from that. But I don't know. I mean, it's like poor Jay, bless his heart, he ain't gonna be able to eat now if he ain't got his TV show. He ain't got no money.
No.
Yeah, he
You
needs
know
to
them
pass
junk-
away after-
Them old junk cars that he's got to break him up for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we see him at Meekum or Barrett Jackson selling a bunch of his cars, we'll know. But,
Yeah, we'll know then.
I ain't gonna sell money.
I'm thinking that they should another channel should pick them up. You know,
Yeah, he'll probably get picked
Discovery or
up every year.
it's a good show. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Motor Trend will pick him up or something.
YouTube.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
heck,
right.
he'd be better off. He wouldn't have to answer to nobody if he went to YouTube.
Well, he's already on YouTube.
he's been
Yeah,
going
but
for
it's
years.
not staying up to date. You know, I've heard people talk about him doing the episode on the YH3 Street Van Dodge vans, and I've never been able to find it. I've never seen that episode.
Oh, really?
And I've heard 2 or 3 people, oh, I just watched Jay Leno. Well, they must have me blocked from it or something.
I don't know. He's got some cool stuff. He gets a lot of stuff in up there. I like watching him.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, he gets
They,
lots of, I don't.
In
I
fact,
can't
they've been
afford it.
advertising on Facebook. You know, every Sunday they're doing another show on YouTube for it. So
Yeah.
How
reminds
old
me
is
of this
he
show.
anyway now?
Do what?
How old is
That's
Jay?
I don't know.
71, I think.
Yeah, he's not that old then, is he? He's
It's getting younger, man. The older I get, the younger that seems.
That's right.
Lord.
Yep. That's
Yeah, I'm
true.
with you on that. You know, I was watching we did that autocross. I love that autocross. I hadn't been back, but I think we're going to go back next month. I got to get the battery put back in the car and get it ready to go. But I was watching that. I don't know if y'all have seen that Dylan McCool. I got to following him because he's got one of these Grand Furies like I do, you know, like the Dodge Diplomat, you know, he's working on.
He's super turbo in it, ain't he?
Yeah, but he went over the weekend somewhere in Alabama to a autocross, but it's like dirt.
Oh, really?
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's in dirt. He took that old Dodge Charger. It was in dirt. But I felt sorry for him because he got out there and he was racing around doing the best he could. And he put that Dodge Charger on a town car running gear. And he's out there running around trying to do the best he could with that autocross thing. And, man, that car just shut off, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with it and had to call his dad come get him on the trailer. And after he got back home, he realized that the kill switch that's in the trunk of the, you know, that kills the gas,
Yeah.
in an accident, had tripped because it was so rough out there. It was shaking it, and it tripped that, and all it done just turned
Shut the fuel off.
Yeah, if he'd have just mashed that button, he could have been back at it. But that looked like a lot of fun. I like the autocross. The one they have down at Gainesville, you start off side by side with a car, and you go through the straight, and then you go left, and the car on the right goes right, and you run through the same
That's
course.
a weird course.
And then a mirrored course, and then see who comes out better on the other side. But I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be
But
cool.
this is
The autocross that you're talking about, the one you're talking about getting ready for next month, is that the one that's over in Highlands?
nope. This is down at down at the old racetrack there across from Road Atlanta. What's that called? Used to have the little dirt circle track there across from Road
Yeah,
Atlanta.
that's Lanier.
Lanier
Okay.
Raceway.
Okay.
They took over Lanier Raceway and they do it on the infield.
Okay. The one over in Franklin should be starting up in probably 2 months, I would imagine, right?
Shouldn't be long.
Yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't be long. But
I got Liberty a helmet for Christmas, so she's all rearing to go now.
yeah, I've got that 1970s one helmet and I like it. I wear it.
That's cool.
I got the stickers on it where it passes.
Yeah. I had to get Liberty a Snell approved one. Not just for that course, but she also wants to drag race the Corvette. So I figured I'd something that she needs. You know.
There'll be a lot of stuff starting back up in March. I know they'll open the drag strip.
Hey, speaking of stuff starting back up, Dairy Queen in Blue Ridge has a car show coming up. I think the 24th of this month, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's going to be the weekend that they're doing the Bandit Run. I'm gonna go to that.
Yeah,
That weekend.
same day. You're right.
Are you going to the Bandit Run?
Well, ain't that what they're calling it? That's down here, where they're going to be in Helen and then go down to. Are they going to Lanier? Is that where they're going?
No, they'll be at Road Atlanta. I've got to be down there for that. They want me to bring the Blues Brothers car now.
Okay.
Well, do I get to? If you make me a tag, it says I'm part of your staff. Then maybe I can get VIP like you get.
Yeah, you're gonna love my.
He'll get all the.
You always told me to go down there and just tell them you know Stephen Phillips.
Yeah, how far has that got you so far?
The young Harris.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, we well get some little, I guess, some yarn and make a little string thing with the tag VIP, Stephen Phillips entourage.
There you go.
With Cran.
Yeah, you get shot. Well, I was trying to look to see where that was at, where he did that. Dylan McCool did that race. It's out in Alabama somewhere. But it's the autocross. But they do, what is that called where you do dirt? Where all these guys do this dirt racing? It's
Dirt
like
racing?
the maze.
Motorcana or something?
Do what now?
Is it Motorcana?
Yeah, something like that. But you just,
Yeah,
it's just
D-Bike.
They call it rally, the off-road rally.
off-road rally. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Off-road rally. So it's an off-road rally. They had Chrysler Crossfires, man. They had them Subarus, nice cars out there. And I think he's on. I mean, there was a truck and a couple more, but that's just so much fun. And it's cheap. Yes, absolutely
Nothing
cheap.
like sliding around in dirt.
Yeah. Do they have
yeah.
I'm sure they got a lot of autocross going on up in your part of the country, don't they, Jim?
I don't know. I never really got into any of that stuff. So it's I'm assuming we have them up here, but I don't know anything about them. So
Yeah, we're here in the mountains, but we don't have any gravel roads left.
They ain't none in Hiawassee, are they?
No.
You think there'd be a few
No.
left, but they ain't.
There ain't no gravel roads left in Hiawassee no more at all.
We got plenty over here in Cherokee County.
Are they?
Yeah, man.
That's a,
Actually, my road, we just had ours paved up to a certain spot, so I'm only a few feet away from where the dirt starts again.
That's the thing about North Carolina now. I know that for a fact. You be driving, you get on the back road. I like going looking for junk cars. So I get on back roads, look for junk cars. And I found out real quick, you be driving down in North Carolina, you be on a pretty good sized little road. You'll be driving along. It'll just end. It'll just stop. Man, ain't nothing. It just goes out there. It's just the end of the road.
You'll have
The
lines
road to
on there
nowhere.
that just stops.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's my dad was when he first came down here. They were exploring some roads, and they were down some roads that didn't have lines on them. And he found this road that was striped, and he said, "Well, this must be a pretty major road. We'll just follow this one." And it just ended.
That's what they do.
Surprise.
Yeah, but I told my development here, like we're a private road, and we were trying to raise some money to pave the road. I said we should have a rally race, from one side of the mountain to the other. And they all laughed. I said, I'm serious. It's a private road. So let's charge like $25 a car to race the mountain. We'll do time trials like a hill climb and, put the money towards fixing the road. And they didn't take me. They kept thinking I was joking. I was serious.
Yeah,
Good
you got to
idea.
think outside the box to make real money. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, how many people around here would do that? I think you can call it the moonshine race or something. It's an old dirt road. Let's see if we can get to the other side. And everybody sign a waiver that if they crash into something, then it's their fault.
Yeah, but that don't never happen. They're gonna sue somebody. You
Yeah.
always got that. You always got. Have you been in a traffic accident? Have you been followed too close by an 18-wheeler in Australia? Call me. I'll make you rich.
He's dangerous. He's in front of us. He's dangerous, this bloke.
Yeah, better have them in front of you than behind you then.
I'm trying to get caught up with a. I'm trying to get caught up with a bloke. Y'all say bloke. That means what? Bloke is what we say. Dude, guy. Bloke is a guy.
Yeah, bloke's like, what's bloke? Bloke, mate. Bloke's just a bloke,
Right. It's not.
Glad you clarified that.
It's not like calling him an idiot or anything, right?
Nah. It's like not a bad thing.
Okay. Alan Carr and stuff. Hello, guys.
Hi,
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to keep up with the lingo down there. Sometimes I get comments from people all over the world, man, and I have to go Google. I'll copy their comment to make sure it ain't bad because I want to make sure it ain't anything bad. And I do the translation in English, and then then I'll answer them, and then I'll copy and post it back. I don't want to leave anybody out, but
That's what I saw the other day. I said, I think that's probably good. Maybe he's calling me a name. I don't know. Put in Google Translate, and it was like something nice about the car. I was like, all right, cool, thumbs up.
he means blokes. I mean blokes. I'm gonna pick up all that stuff before it's over with. I'm
Like
gonna be
fellas, blokes is like fellas or guys or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been
That's
talking
not
to you so much. I'm gonna be a redneck with an Australian accent. They're gonna say, "What the?"
Oh,
heck?
it's funny on your radio show. I was going to write that. I was going to write morning y'all, and then I was going to write in brackets. That was Aussie with a southern accent.
There you go.
That's good.
We had
That's good.
Copperhead. He come on the show Friday, man. Yeah, he
Oh,
come
really?
on the radio show Friday. Our ratings went down.
Oh. Oh.
Come on. I thought we went right.
I thought it was good. Ain't no kidding.
Did the ratings go down?
No, Lord, no,
No,
man.
it can't get any lower than they already are. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I had one guy come up to me. I went out to eat, and he'd come up to me, and he said he'd been listening. He said, "Hey, man, can you bring that Copperhead guy by my body shop? I'd like to talk to him and show you some stuff." I said, "Yeah, I mean, no problem. He lives in Australia."
Yeah. So what did he want to do? Show me what? Show me what he works on or something.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of cars and stuff like I do, and he's wanting to show you all his stuff he's got. You know how car guys are. They want to sit over there and brag about all the stuff they've got.
Well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
hey, Steve, speaking about having stuff, you don't happen to have an old, 60s Chevy Suburban, do you?
No, I don't have anything like that. Yeah. I've got in the Chevy department, as far as old, I got a, what is it, 61, I guess it is, Chevrolet Nomad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it's 61
That's nice.
baseline cheapie models.
Yeah, I think
Everybody thinks that the Nomads went away in
it's
57.
61. It's there somewhere.
Yeah, they went from being the high end model to in 58 they became the almost bottom of the barrel, and the lowest trim level, and then they shifted the name over to the G body cars. So like the A body cars. I had a 70 Chevelle station wagon that was a Nomad.
Yeah, this one's it's a 4-door though. They went 4 doors after
Yeah.
57, I think, didn't they?
They were all 4 doors, and they were just lower trim models.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. What year is it?
I think it's 61.
Yeah, that's a cool looking car.
Little 283, red and white.
Cool.
Was
Really-
it an old fleet car or something?
No. I had a cousin of mine that worked for Chevrolet, and he bought it from how the company, the employees can buy it at a discounted rate or whatever.
Yeah.
And he drove it for a long time. Then Papa bought it from him.
Was it a 6-cylinder car or
No,
283?
283.
283.
Yep, 283.
Pretty good
old
drivetrains.
Got 2-speed. What is that called? Power.
Yeah, 2-speed power.
Power
drive.
glide.
Yeah, Power Glide, 2-speed Power Glide.
It was a car when we swapped the 307 and a Power Glide in my buddy's 58 GMC pickup. And I said, "You ever drive a Power Glide before?" He says, "No." I said, "Okay, this is what's going to happen." I said, "You're going to take it for a ride. And just when you think it's stuck in first gear, you're going to reach for the shifter. And just before you touch the shifter, it's going to shift into second."
Yeah.
And he laughed. He gets in the car. He comes back. He says, "I'll be damned, man." He goes, "You were spot on." He said, "That's exactly what happened." He said, "I thought it was stuck in first gear. I reached down to grab the shifter, and all of a sudden, boom, into drive."
I always
Well,
liked the Turbo 400. You could leave them in low, and then just go ahead and float the valves out, and then it just change into second itself and grab second gear, and with it still in low. That's one good thing about Turbo 400.
Yeah.
Do you know, I
So
watch
Steve,
that Steve Maggs. I watch him all the time on that junkyard crawl he does.
That's a good channel. Yeah.
You were talking about, let's see, what year was it? It was, I think it was the Mustang, one of them. But he said they had a smaller. Okay, I'm telling you wrong now because I don't remember what it was. I just need
It was
to
a Mercury Capri. You just watched it the other day.
Okay, so it
Talking
had
about that 2-something engine.
like a 268 and then a 302. And I didn't know they had a smaller V8.
I never
engine.
did see. I hadn't never seen one of them engines either.
It was probably a 302 block, but it was a lower.
It was a 240 or 260 or something.
Well, before the 289, they
V8.
60.
No, this was in the 70s.
This was
late
79,
70s and
80,
early.
81.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they
Chevy
come out with the
It was 120 horsepower.
too. There was all the gas crunch stuff. They had alongside the 305, they had a 267, and it was
I've seen them on Chevrolets. I've actually had one of them.
just a small little underpowered V8.
And
It
I guess
was-
Ford
I'm
did
sure-
the same thing.
probably a 302, but it looked like a 302. You wouldn't know the difference,
Yeah, probably just
Well,
decent.
that Rev bloke that I was saying to you, Stephen, they've been doing all these Fords that have got these 260 V8s in them.
What year are the motors though?
I don't know. I think they did one last night. I watched that was in like a 63 Fairlane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no,
this
the
is in the 80s
63s, they had. We know about the 260s in the 60s, but the 70s, by the probably what they come out with the 302 in 68, 67, 68.
768 somewhere around there.
Yeah, and then all of the 2 engines went away.
Yeah.
after that.
Okay. See, I'd never heard of a 260.
Yeah,
I
they,
don't know what it was, but it kind of blew my mind in the 80s. I thought it went to the 302, and then that was it. They just had the 302, but they
yeah,
actually dropped
260 gave way to a 289, and the 289 gave way to the 302.
Yeah, and then did GM have their 302? No,
Yeah.
they didn't have their
305.
302.
They
It was
302.
68. I'm assuming 68 is when GM had the 302,
Yeah,
probably on paper.
67, 8, and 9. It was for Trans Am stuff. Well,
Yeah,
that 327 block with a 283 crank.
Hmm.
And that
they
was
was pretty mean engines.
high rever. Yeah, it was a short stroke with the 283 with a big bore of the 327. 327, 350 shared the same. They were same bore.
Mm.
I don't know. I can't keep up with it, man. Yeah, I can't. I don't lay so much out there, but I just kind of blowed my mind. So
Yeah, I
I
didn't
don't
know
know.
that small cubic inch Ford stuff in the 80s. Yeah.
Well, I was diehard Dodge, forever. That's all. I mean, I know Dodges. That's the thing about it. But now I've kind of, I've got everything now. I've got Fords,
Dodge used to
Chevys,
be the cheapest, didn't he?
but I've got everything now, and I don't know a whole lot about them. I never forget the first time I ever wired a dang Ford up. Man, I couldn't get it to crank. I thought, what in the world, But the banks are different.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
like
the
1,
number-
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and and the Chrysler and Chevrolets are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And I wired it up like that, and that thing, like, Lord mercy, it blowed out the carburetor and everything else.
That motor that Chevy had for a long time, the early Hemis had and everything, that 1843657
Right.
Ford, they time off of a different cylinder. They time them off of what would be 2 for Chevy and
Well, it's just a Ford's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right.
Yeah.
See, yeah, that's right. I think.
yeah, the
Yeah.
one.
And then all the other ones, they go across 1, 2, 3,
Right.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And I was looking at the 390 in my Thunderbird. If you number the cylinders the same as Chevy did, then the firing order is actually the same, except they time off of what would be number 2 cylinder. So it's
The way the wires.
Yeah,
are
what
run.
they call number 1 is Chevy's number 2.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but it's actually the same firing order, but because it's numbered different, it makes it a weird.
Hey,
So what Copperhead's trying to say is Chevrolet is number 2.
No, I think they're saying that Chevy's number 1. And
hey, Copperhead, did you fire that Ford motor yet?
Nah, not yet. I'm thinking about it.
Ford,
I don't know. I'm slack on firing the motors up because I'd rather build the car and then start it. Because otherwise, if I fire that thing up and it's got issues, then I'll be that depressed. I won't want to build the car anymore.
I want to hear that Ford, see what it sounds like.
That's the only thing about it, man. You're doing it backwards. You got to see if it runs first. If it
Yeah.
don't run, then just push it to the side and start on another one.
title's going to be "Will it run?" after I'm done fixing the entire car up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
No, it'll be all right. It's going to be a good one. I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day, thinking, I could actually probably go and try to start that. That'd be a video I could do.
How much more you like finishing it?
Heaps. I haven't been working on it because it's a bit of a hard car to video, and because my arms have been so sore, I haven't been doing a real lot. So
Too much hard work on it right now.
yeah, I'm halfway through building the cab. Like, it's not that hard. It's just my arms. I'm really struggling. Like,
Oh, really?
You need to see.
I can't
if you
even pick
get
up I
a
can't even pick up a
channel.
glass of drink.
Yeah.
Like, they're really, really bad. So when I go out into the shed and do something, I'm in agony, and then it hurts. Like, I'm stuffed for 3 or 4 days. I can't do anything. So
I mean,
You need a drunk mechanic like Steven's got that's got a cigarette in his mouth all the time to.
yeah, I
start
just
doing
can't
hard
handle
work for you.
people. I just want to give them a backhand. Like, my patience is like 0. So
You'd like
even when I
my
race, I didn't even have victory when I raced. I just used to do it all myself because I'd have a bad incompetence really gets to me. So I just do everything myself.
yeah.
You have to learn how to work with it, man.
Yeah, you'd like Mike. Though. Mike's becoming the popularest guy on this channel, man. Everybody loves Mike. There ain't no doubt.
Did I?
Yeah, he's good. Mike's
Oh, it cracked me up when you sent that fuel across. You were squirting it in the carby, and then you lifted it up, and I went shh across the screen, and he was sitting over there swagging away like usual. Oh, Lord. I was like, that's hilarious.
That's airplane fuel, man. That's aviation fuel too. That ain't regular gas.
It's like pepper sauce, ain't it?
He come unglued too, man. He was serious there for a minute.
Is that so? That's that blue stuff. Is that aviation fuel?
Yep.
See, I thought you had like normal fuel and had a bit of oil thrown in it or something to lube it up. But
No, it's over there. My brother runs the airport in Franklin, North Carolina, and every evening they have to drain the fuel out of the bottom of the tank just to make sure it's not got any trash or anything like that. So, usually end up with about a gallon or so. And Dylan always keeps it and brings it home, and we use it for that.
well, my mate used to run his drag car on that avgas. They call it here.
Yeah. Yep, that's what it is, avgas.
Yeah, so that's like 130 or 140 octane or something it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. I do. I love it.
How many RPMs are them airplanes engines turning, Steve?
Not much.
Yeah, they kind of
Just in the 5,000 RPM range and
I
below.
don't even think they run that much. No, you don't want it. You don't want your propeller to spin loose from the air, man. 2,000 maybe.
Milton Wolf swears up and down that gas on a real good race engine, that gas will mess it up because it's engineered that there's different stuff in it for low RPMs.
It is low RPMs. They don't run about 2,000 RPMs.
Yeah, and so everybody's thinking that it's the high octane and all that. They put it in the race motor, but he swears up and down that it's bad for him.
Well, it's
He's
like
seen them
jet
do.
fuel ain't nothing but kerosene. That's all it is.
Right?
Jet
No,
fuel is
I'm
just
talking.
kerosene.
We're talking about the avgas. We're talking
Right,
about
it's just high octane fuel. It's high.
yeah,
octane fuel.
yes, it's high octane, but it's something about I guess some of the formula in it is not for a high
It could
RPM
be
engine.
here to have a faster flame spread.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because if it's, but I talked to the guy from Rocket Fuels one time about octane and stuff, and he said that there's a lot of stuff you can do to change the burn rate. It has nothing to do with octane. Octane is just resistance to detonation.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people think that they can put high octane fuel in and make more horsepower, but you actually, it doesn't work that way. Your motor will work best with the lowest octane it can handle because it'll be
Ignite quicker.
complete of a burn. I know a guy that he was running NHRA stock class with a 305, and the spec fuel for the class I think was 104, if I remember right. And he tech in with 104 and then drained it out and put 87 in because the car was only like a 7 3/4 to 1 compression. He said
It didn't need it, did it? I mean,
he ran faster on 87 than he did on 104.
Mhm.
It's just the resistance to detonation is all it is. It does not have anything to do with the only way it would change. Some people say that it'll give them better gas mileage. The only way that would be is if on a newer fuel injected engine, it's picking up the knock, so it's pulling the timing out, making the car less efficient.
right.
If you had higher octane, then you can put a little more harder ignition curve into it and make more power. So
If you put that though, if you put that aviation gas in the where it's got an oxygen sensor, see, it's got low lead and it'll mess that oxygen sensor up.
yeah, right. I have gas that still has lead in it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll mess up your O2 sensors. It'll mess up a lot of stuff on a newer car.
Well, my cars that I drive don't have no O2 sensors, so I ain't gonna worry about it. Yeah, I like it though. I mean, ain't nobody using it, so we get about
that video that Jim's made trying to get that dart that you've got up there at Turpin's that you ain't picked up yet, where Jens was ciphering that gas.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awful.
It burns. I'm telling you, it ain't like regular gas. I can handle regular gas. It's bad enough, but that avgas, man, it burnt my mouth. I mean, it would burn it. I'm like, what the heck? We didn't have nothing, just dirty old rags laying around there. I just used them. I didn't care. Yeah, I didn't care. I got to get that car. I got so many. I don't know what to start next, man. We got my niece called me the other day she's wanting to take the 82 Corvette. She's wanting to drive it to the prom. So we got to drag it out and get it ready to go. It's not bad, but we thought it's got a couple little skin places on. We thought we'd maybe shoot a little paint on it, this, that, and the other. I got to get that going for her because she's just 16 or 17. I want to make sure there ain't nothing, how you don't have to hold your mouth just right to crank it. I'd like for it to crank and go like it's supposed to,
Right.
It's got that, what's it called? That crossfire fuel injection, which I ain't never had no trouble out of it, but
Yeah.
The thing about the Crossfire, worst thing about them was just no horsepower. That's what everybody hated about them.
I get 30 miles a gallon in that thing. I don't care about
You
the
ought to
horsepower.
see when you pull one of them intakes off and look at it, the actual port is half the size of a normal small block intake. They literally filled the port half full on that intake.
They did that for some kind of a ram air thing or something.
Yeah, get more velocity.
Yeah.
More low end torque and more velocity. I was reading something on one of the Corvette forums said that that intake and everything was a really efficient design and actually made tons of power for what it was. And if something about if you use those with the modern injection or something, I don't know. It was something the guy said he could make all sorts of power with it or something, but I don't know if that was.
I've always thought I've seen Steven drive this car, and I think everybody talks about they're weak, but that car don't seem like it's no dog to me. I mean,
No, it's got plenty of power. It goes fine. Yeah, it burn the tire slow. It'll go fast as you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, heck,
Yeah.
we can't do.
Yeah, Crossfire, we hit the throttle, we light it up 200 meters down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I had it in my 83 Trans Am and I had no problems with it. So
Yeah.
some people wouldn't work on it for whatever.
That was Crossfire also?
Crossfire fuel.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was 82 to 84 is how they ran that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I had an 83.
I just thought they were cool because they look like the old cross ram that they used to put on the Z28s.
Oh, they look cool when you're on the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Take that and I don't know, maybe the carb. I never looked at one close enough. I don't know if the carb pattern's the same or if you could put adapters on run a
You
pair.
get it's funny though. You get some of these guys get to talking. You act like you can run 160 on the streets. You know, oh that
Right.
car's weak. I wouldn't have it. Well, it won't even do the speed limit. You know, it's what you're. You know,
Yeah, I don't go fast in that thing of mine.
There
That
was-
Corvette, it don't drive. It don't. I mean, them boys that drove them things back in the day, they knew how to drive. I'll just have to hand it to them because
Yeah.
that 82 compared to the 87 is daylight and dark. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
when it comes to driving and handling and throwing that thing in a curve, and it's just, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
But I look.
that was a major change, man. Going to 84, huge step up because you remember that C3 design, the frame is the same as the C2, so that's been the same from 63 to 82 is all the same.
no, yeah.
You know, they did it like in your 82, you'll have some aluminum rear end components that they didn't have in the earlier years, but 73 they added another pair of bodies, different bodies up a little bit more. Virtually the same thing all the way up, so it was pretty archaic. You know, that really lasted a good long run with that chassis configuration. So when they went to the C4, that was a big deal.
I remember C4 come out, man. That was the hottest thing on the road.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now nobody wants them. They will though. They will. Now's the time to buy a C4.
Well, yeah, they're starting to be cars to watch.
I had a 79 and an 80 Corvette. I would both those cars.
Yeah.
I know it was black, but that car was good. It was a nice running car.
My daughter loves her 96.
Oh, I hear motor. Somebody's mashing the motor.
Ah, come on.
Somebody's got their foot in the carburetor.
Yeah, we got the next model.
truck.
Don't worry, the old Merc goes all right.
That now you're not hot rodding your wife's car, are you?
No, we're in my car. This is my daily. This thing's a weapon. This is the nicest driving car I've ever had.
Cool.
He
Well-
says Merc. He's talking about Mercedes. We think Merc.
Mercedes, yeah.
Yeah, you say Merc here, we're thinking you're talking about a Mercury.
No, the Mercedes. We're in my Mercedes.
Yeah,
Did,
we're
did
not-
you have Mercuries down there, or was it just?
No. No, that'd be rare as only imports.
Okay.
Be rare as what?
Rare as rocking horse.
Where's the rocking horse?
Rocking horse do. I won't say the word.
Yep.
Rocking horse do.
Okay.
What year's Mercedes do you have?
This one is this is an 09, I think.
Mhm.
0809 CLS.
Okay.
So it's
I
like
love the, I
four-door-
love the as everybody calls them, like they worked on the assembly line. I like the 123 diesels is what I like. Them things are tanks. I mean, you just
Yeah, this ain't a tank. This thing's like a sports car.
Now, is that a car or is that an SUV?
No, this is the car. This is a 4-door coupe, they call it.
Okay.
So it's real sleek. It's got like 315 tires on the rear, and
Cool.
it's a bit of a weapon. It's a 4-seater only, so there's like a center console that runs full length.
how
Nice.
many horsepower did they claim?
This is only the 6-cylinder, and this is 300, I think,
Wow.
just under
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
that's good.
295 straight out of the factory in the 6-cylinder.
That's cool.
And it's a what is it now?
A CLS
CLS. I'm gonna look that up. CLS what?
350.
350.
I don't know if we had those in the States. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
So mine's all blacked out with black 20-inch rims, and
You're
Black
going
windows.
gangster in that thing,
You
then.
got the Mennonite edition.
yeah, basically. But I did it myself.
My wife's got a Mercedes, but for God's sakes, I don't know what that thing is.
I've
Yours-
seen
yeah,
it
yours
white.
is
I reckon it's an
AMG,
E-Class,
Stephen.
either an E450 or an E500. It looked like.
Okay. I know.
That's
The,
what mine is.
Yeah, I think so. That's that white one that was on the video the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like an E-Class. Looks like about about the same, about an 06, 07, I reckon.
Yeah, something like that. And it's quick, man. It's fast.
It's, yeah, well, that's an AMG's what you've got, Stephen. That ain't the slow Mercedes. That's the fastest one they made.
It's quick. I'm telling you, it's probably the fastest car I got in my driveway. I am not kidding you. I mean, it is just stupid fast. And you get there so quick you don't realize you're doing it. I mean, it's crazy.
that's the
Yeah,
big.
they're not normally wheel spin machines, but they absolutely fly.
Yeah, that's the difference between new stuff and old stuff. You know, old stuff was visceral. It was, brutal acceleration down low, you know, and it's like in the new stuff, you're just, you know, I guess in an old car, you're going, oh my God, we're doing 80. In a new car, you go, oh God, I'm doing 80. You know, you don't even realize it. You know, I get my
Nowadays, it's dadgummit, we ain't running 80 mile an hour. What the heck's wrong?
Hey, the one thing that I can't understand is that I know that all of our 0 to 60 times and most of the modern cars that's on the road right now is about as low as they've ever been. But when a red light turns green, boy, it takes forever for people to get going, don't
Oh,
it?
it's
Yeah.
like gas,
Golly. You know,
gas pedals.
yeah.
Yes, and it just, okay, I'll go.
You know, we got I know a guy in Texas. He's like an actor and all that nonsense, but he had to come to Atlanta for something. He flew to Atlanta and he's driving around Atlanta and he posted on Facebook. He said, I am running 85 mile an hour and getting passed like I'm sitting still. These people in Georgia are crazy. And you run 85 mile an hour on the interstate, man, you're going to get run over because I mean, it's 100 mile an hour plus, honestly.
Jeez, man,
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You get over here and
We're not allowed to do that fast.
you don't know how to give it gas. They just go slow everywhere.
Mm.
My wife-
What are we allowed to do? 60 mile an hour, 65.
Is that kilometers or miles per hour? But y'all can't speed over there, they'll crush your car.
Yeah, we're only allowed to do 110 Ks at the most. That's the maximum speed limit anywhere. And so that's about 95 mile an hour.
Wow.
Now, you got any grace down here? They give you like a 10 mile an hour over grace. I mean, if you're 55, you're allowed to go 65. Is it like that there?
They have like I think they have a 10%, but it's like a bit of a, I don't actually think that,
It's a loose rule, like they say it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's
Right. Well, they'll base it on conditions because they can write you too fast for conditions,
Yeah.
and you could just be doing 30 in a 55.
Yeah.
Well, I don't go on 285. You couldn't hog time me. If I go on 285, it's because I have to. I go straight through downtown Atlanta. I hate 285. They've been more people killed on interstate on that loop. People do.
Oh, yeah.
Bypass. I always straight through.
Do what now?
The 285 is that bypass?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I've ever even been on that. I always just go straight through.
Yeah, I do too. I just go straight through
I
Atlanta.
remember the first time everybody told me how Atlanta traffic is. And it's terrible. And I had to go down to Florida for something. I was like, all right, man, here we go. Next thing you know, I came out the other side of Atlanta. I was like, wait, that was it?
Yeah.
Man, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, it's
Well, everybody goes 285.
If I'm going, as long as I'm not going to Atlanta, if I'm going down below Atlanta, I just go through Athens and down.
oh yeah.
Go out. I mean, the time is not much longer than,
The easiest drive through Atlanta I had is I set my wife's cruise control on her Dodge Charger at like I think it was 70 miles an hour. We went through Atlanta, and I didn't even have to touch my brake because it's got that active cruise control. So somebody, and all of a sudden the car would just slow down, and I just drove the car with just the steering wheel, man. I didn't even have to touch the gas or the brake.
They're taking the driving out of people's hands.
Yeah, it was freaky.
Yeah.
Worst part,
What is it now? It brakes for you?
yeah, well, it slows the car up. It doesn't hit the brakes, but it's like, so you set it, and it's set at like, I don't know, 2 or 3 car lengths or whatever it is, and you can't get up on somebody to move over. Also, the car just slows down.
It's got like a radar.
Yeah. So you just get up close and you just stay that same pace. You know, I don't know how many times I was like, wait a second, I'm going slower than I wanted to be, and then I'd have to gas it myself to get up and around. You know, so. I did that all through like LJ Jasper and all that other stuff. And then I got down to Atlanta and I said, you know what? I'm just going to see what this cruise control does. And I just let it set it like, I think I still had it set at 70. And I would just go through and I didn't touch the brake or the gas. It was the freakiest thing, man.
Alan said he's on 285 Monday through Friday twice a day. Son, we'll pray for you. I'm a praying man. We will definitely pray for you every day. Let's all those that's listening, please keep Alan in your prayers. You know, but I used to work back years ago down there when I first got out of school. I'd go down to Ansco and Associate, and we'd have to go down there to Jimmy Carter Boulevard and all that. And we put in underground cable. And they said if you ever had a flag, you've seen flagmans out there with a stop and go. They said that the life expectancy for a flagman on 285 is like 8 minutes.
Jeez. Oh my God.
It's crazy, man.
I'm not going to say no names, but you remember back in the 80s, we had a local boy that was working that, and he got hit, and it didn't really hurt him, but the guys that he landed on, because he
Really?
was a pretty good sized guy, and the guys that he landed on, a couple of the co-workers, and they had to be the ones we took to the hospital.
Jeez.
That ain't good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I tell you, man, Boston traffic and New York City traffic is way worse than Atlanta ever thought of being.
Is it?
I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that.
I think all of these little metropolitan places at time, like I go to Gainesville. In Gainesville at 5 o'clock, to me, it's not a good place to be.
No,
Wherever, you know, it's just and that people in New York would probably say, "Oh, that's a cakewalk," but you know, it's nerve wracking to me. I mean, to go down there.
Yeah, New York City and Boston is hands down way worse than Atlanta.
You know, I went to Chicago. I took a load of school kids on a school bus to Chicago up there, and I drove all over the city of Chicago in a 35-foot school bus. I went in the tunnels and everything, man. I didn't have any problem whatsoever. It was pretty cool going on underneath the tunnel.
Yeah.
Did you get some pizza while you was there?
Yeah, we eat pizza the whole time.
Did you?
And I went out to where the Blues Brothers jumped the bridge. I went and see all the Blues Brothers.
Did you?
Oh, got you. Yeah, Chicago isn't too bad. Rush hour traffic on the Dan Ryan is probably the worst.
Right.
The worst place to is LA. LA really sucks now with their 405. It's bumper to bumper a lot, and just so many people on the roads down there.
Yeah.
And living there for 10 years. The 10 years I lived there wasn't too bad, but now it's getting worse and worse. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you lived in LA for 10 years.
One of the deadly sites.
So what movies were you in?
Actually, I did some commercials, but nothing movie-wise. I did a small part in Sinatra, a miniseries that played had 2 lines as a reporter interviewing him at his house. Cole Castell played the lead, and Gina Gershwood was his wife at the time, I believe. Both did. And so I did some commercials and stuff like that.
Most of all them people out in LA that's got real money now, they just take helicopters everywhere, don't they?
Yeah. Well, that's going to be my suggestion. But then again, look at Kobe Bryant when happened to him when taking a helicopter.
Well, the big thing about that, if you get some knucklehead pilot, you know, that's the problem that you got.
Oh, he couldn't see. That's why he crashed. He didn't. If he didn't have his. If he'd have had to where he could fly by instrument, he would have never crashed.
Yeah. But he was arrogant for flying in them conditions, is what he was.
Yeah.
You know, thinking, you know.
He could fly.
They had a lot of fog that day and stuff. So you got to be careful, you know, fog and you had a lot of terrible winds going through the mountains too and stuff. So it's not. I like living there, but I'm glad I live back in Chicago. So went through 2 earthquakes out there, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and see it. I like to go see it anyway, just before it falls off in the ocean.
Well, I want to go back to Paradise Cove one of these days too. So my bucket list is taking my fire out there.
Copperhead looks like he's driving a road course right now. Are you watching him? He's
I want to know where Copperhead's going.
We got lost.
Oh,
Very now.
You got?
Oh, okay.
Are you parked now?
Where did you go?
Yeah, park now.
What time's your appointment?
About 20
Yeah,
10 minutes.
Ah,
All right, man. Well, listen, y'all be good down there.
I don't have to go yet.
What time is it?
I've got 10 minutes before I got to go.
Okay. What time is it down there?
Okay.
It's 10 past 10.
okay.
I'm about to get all that down.
3 hours.
So
3 hours.
Copperhead,
3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours, and then I'm in the afternoon if you're in the morning.
yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so
Copperhead, when are you coming? Are you planning a trip to America, Copperhead?
Yeah, we want to move over there. We're researching stuff, but we're going to come over for a holiday first. I'm sorry, you're not even looking. I put my phone on my leg.
It don't matter.
And you're looking at the ceiling. Sorry. I'm thinking I'm going to sell that my big Pontiac,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and then we're going to come over for a holiday, and for I don't know how long, 3 months or something, probably. And then but we're just looking at all the ins and outs of doing it all because it's a fairly big step to move over there,
Well, now, do you have any? Y'all have a big family where you live at? I mean, you got a.
No, nothing. No one. I got my son who lives in a different state, and that's it.
Oh, really? Okay.
You gonna bring him with you?
Nah.
That
He's in his like mid-20s. He's living his own life, you know.
right.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, that's all we have. We don't have. Neither of us have families.
Okay.
I'm just thinking Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. I don't know. I'd go Tennessee or Florida or Georgia right now if I was going to go anywhere because of the taxes.
That's sort of we're sort of looking Georgia or Florida or something. I think. Like,
You'd probably like Florida being from
The big
Australia.
thing now, if you don't be thinking about bringing that Mercedes, because Georgia has a high ad valorem tax. It's actually keeping people from moving here right now. If you bring your cars, and
we're selling everything. I think
Yeah,
I don't
didn't
think we'll
think
bring
if you
anything.
yeah, there's a few people that's moved to North Carolina that's been into my business, and they was going to buy a place in Georgia, and then they checked on registering their cars in the state, and so they just said that's a no-go because they make you pay just like you just bought the car an ad valorem tax on it, even though you've paid it for the state
Well,
that you're
where did
in.
they move to? They moved to North Carolina?
Yeah, they moved to North Carolina.
Oh, man. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
I'd just go to Copart.
Yeah.
And buy a wrecked Merc and
Yeah,
fix
then
it.
now in Georgia, you don't even have to pay no ad valorem on something that's been deemed totaled out. If you
Yeah,
can
so
rebuild it.
that's all what I'll do. I'll just be going there and buying a wrecked car and fix
I
it.
just don't know if you'll find any Suzuki Swifts over here though.
Nah, we might have to find a different one to flip.
I was
We'll
just
try something that all the people haters like. What do you all the new drivers like?
Mo-
I don't know.
they're just all over the place.
I don't like
Trucks.
stuff,
Trucks.
the new stuff. So it's I gotta stick with old stuff. Most of my stuff's old. So if you get something in North Carolina, if it's for older, I think it is. You don't have to do a safety inspection. Maybe it's 35 years and older. No
Oh,
safety.
If you get an old enough one in Georgia, you don't even have to have a title, so that'll save you paying tax on it.
I think I'd look
Yeah,
at
that's-
Florida, man.
That's the plan. Is to just like my plan is to. I want the channel to be a bit bigger. I'd like to, but my plan is to just do what I do and like
Yeah.
just fix cars and flip them. But I'd like the channel to be making a bit more money for itself first. But from what we've been looking at real estate, hardcore, and everything, and like we pretty much don't want to sell our house and then invest all that money in a house there. I'd like to have a fair bit of a buffer
Sure.
in the bank.
Oh, yeah.
But like houses, like my house is nearly $1 million here, which over there, my house would be maybe 300. I'm thinking, like
Right.
Yeah.
300-400. So like,
Well, you can always
we
get
could
you
go to
a van.
$100,000 house and just do it up. Is what I'm thinking, like,
Right.
Yeah.
and pocket the rest.
You know, in Florida, if you don't buy at the beach, man, I mean, you get some pretty.
Yeah. You get,
The wife loves the beach. See, she loves the ocean. She wants to be near the ocean, and I've just been saying, like, she likes the warmth, but we're actually getting old and we can't handle the heat like we used to be able to. So I said we're probably better off
Florida
the
wouldn't be a
beach.
good idea for you then.
you might want to look at like
Oh,
South.
no, well, if you actually, Florida's heat is nothing compared to where we live. So today it's 39 degrees Celsius, which is like over 100 over there. But the
Oh, wow.
humidity is 100% humidity as well.
Well, that's
wow.
the way you'll get it in Florida in the summertime.
Yeah, and down South Florida and stuff like that. You stay.
Maybe what you could do is just buy two places and have two cheap places.
lot of people do it.
One for winter and one for summer.
Yeah.
You
That's
be
the-
doing the snowbirds.
Yeah, we get that here. I mean, we get all the Florida guys come up from Florida in the summer to get away from the heat. And they stay
Yeah.
up there, and then around October they head down south and stay down there, and enjoy the warm winters.
So the plan will be when we come over for the holidays, and then we'll cruise around and see where we what sort of area we like, and you know.
And I got a finished basement apartment that is a walkout basement. So you got if you ever come over here, you got a place to stay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll probably hire a motorhome or something, and then we'll just douche around and.
Steven's got a motorhome for sale right now.
Yeah, I can put you in.
See?
the roll.
It's a nice one too.
It's like
a
everything
decent
else
foot-
on. You got to work on it before you can drive it.
Yeah.
I had a big American Chevy motorhome. We bought it for what we bought? Well, $5,000 we paid for it because it had a blown up motor, 454 in it, and I rebuilt it. And we drove it around Australia racing, and then I sold it for 35 grand. So
Wow, good for you, man. That's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Stephen,
One of
how
those
many
things like
American
80.
Eagles?
40 foot, 80 ton.
What you're planning on doing, send me an email. I kind of check the things out before you get here, you know. I'll be your,
What's that?
if you when you plan on coming or whatever you're looking at, if you'll shoot me an email, I can check out what's over here before you come, and that way you
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, if you're looking
to
at
waste all your time looking, you know, and kind of set it up and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, that'd be good.
If you got like places you're looking to buy and stuff like that. My boys are in Eastman, Georgia right now. That's where they're in college, so they'll be down there for a while longer.
You know, one place I heard that is kind of off the radar but starting to get attention is Oriental, North Carolina. That's over on the North Carolina. It's supposed to have some pretty cool places over there. It's, you know, right on the water.
I've never even heard of that. Oriental?
Oriental.
Well, and so that's what we got to look more into is because every state over there has all these different taxes and rules and all this, and we need to that's where we need to look into all of that so much more so we can actually kind of what's the word like small, you know,
Oh, you want to
small
know
down our area of where we're sort of thinking, you know, narrow
Right.
down our areas, you know.
Right.
anywhere down south is going to be better than anywhere up north as far as tax structure.
Yeah, we don't want to go up north because it's too cold, and we want to stay like near where you guys are because you know, like that's sort of I'm into racing and all of that, and you know the rednecks.
Well, Hiawatha's the place for you then, because we've got a lake. You can just pretend it's the ocean.
It's
We've
big.
got a white sandy public beach down there, don't we, Stephen?
They
That's-
freeze to death in the wintertime, though.
Yeah. It's more of a swamp,
You
right?
get used to it though. You get acclimated. Ain't that what they call it? Acclimated.
Well, I know what he's talking about, though.
Right.
It's like Dylan and them's in Eastman, Georgia, and they'll be down there for 3 or 4 weeks, and then they'll come up here and they about freeze to death for a day or
Yeah.
two, you know, before they get
Yeah.
adjusted
You
back.
got
to
to
the
get
weather.
used to it. But Hiawatha's really not that bad. The gray days gets on my nerves sometimes.
Yeah, it's
We get a lot of rain here.
Oh, man, it's been bad the last few days. Ain't it?
Yeah,
yeah, man.
it's just like a rainforest. That's the only thing.
I don't
that gets-
remember it being like that, though.
No,
No,
it's
it didn't.
super soggy. Once that drought stopped, it just started raining. It hasn't really stopped.
Oh yeah, it ain't let up, has it? Since
Usually-
2016.
We get rain about once a week, maybe every other week, and now it's like you get
Every 3 days.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I
I'm
don't know.
glad the snow missed us. They was calling for snow. Everybody, but
Yeah,
I'm glad it missed us.
yeah. It's. I know they were calling for it, but I didn't think it was going to be.
What's going on with you, Jim? You got any snow up there right now?
No, high was 48 today.
Nice. That's cool.
And all snow's melted. We had rain 1 day and a half this week and sunny out. And actually, it's really been, I shouldn't say that. Knocking on wood, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know down in Moline, my friend was down there for a Pontiac meeting, and he said it was 56 degrees down there.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, it's really
Where was that? Where did they have the meeting at?
someplace by Moline, Illinois, which is down further
Right.
south.
Okay.
Over on by Mississippi River, opposite side of the state.
I got to on March, man. I got to get ready. I got to go down there and MC that car show at the Emerald Coast Cruise In. How long I got? About 3 weeks on that? 2 weeks on that?
It's coming up fast.
Yeah, it's coming up fast. I can get my trailer out. I got to get my wagon out and make sure my wheels ain't gonna fall off on the way down there. And get my. He wants me to play music when I'm not talking, and so I'm gonna get me a mix of 80s and 70s and 80s and 60s music. I never done that part before, but I've done the MC work. I'm really looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's gonna be fun. That's a big show. Have y'all ever been to the Emerald Coast Cruise In?
No, I know people that go every year though.
It's huge. It is huge. It's a big show, and there's a lot of folks come there. And
What's the date on it this year?
I think March 8th. I think March the 8th, 9th, and 10th or something.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
going out on Wednesday and then come
You know.
down, and my wife's going with me, and he's putting us up in the motel down there somewhere. So,
Cool.
But it's a huge show, man. It is huge. It is. They have got everything you can think of.
That's what I'm trying to get that van that you saw me working on Friday, Stephen. I'm trying to get it to where I can drive it to Pennsylvania or wherever and just stay in the van and save motel money.
Yeah. I don't know why you don't fix up that RV you got out there, man. You bought that RV to that. Won't you fix
Yeah,
that?
but that thing's going to take so much money. It's just like,
Well, you
until
got money. Don't sit there and lie.
you can just walk around my house and save my money, can't you?
I know it's sticking all over the place. It's sticking out of safes and socks, and he's got it stuck everywhere.
Yeah. It's all in cars. All
Steven, how do
in
you
low
prepare?
cars.
Do
Go
what?
ahead.
Steven, how do you prepare for an MC for this show?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't prepare for nothing. If you listen to my radio show, I do about 10 minutes in the morning before I get started and a little bit at night before I get there. And we just roll with it. If I have to rehearse and dialogue, I'll miss it every time. So they just tell me who's sponsoring the show and who they'd like to thank and that kind of stuff. And I just write it down. And a lot of folks don't know this, but I'm dyslexic. I don't know if you know what that is or not, but I can't. Yeah, my letters are messed up, so I can't read. So I have to wing everything I do, and that's the way I've always done it. But I've emceed a lot for different stuff, you know. And I enjoy it. But I've done it so long now, it just kind of comes natural.
There you go.
You know? Get the name of the people that's sponsoring the show and who needs the big shout outs and who's paying the most money and that kind of stuff and what's coming up next. And I like to go around talking to the people. I got a microphone that's cordless, and I'll see some little kid or something walking through close to me over, and I'll jump on them right quick. What are you doing up here? What do you think about this? And I love doing that. I like to harass the public. That's my favorite.
That's cool.
I tell you, Steve, the couple times that I got to work with you over at the barbecue,
yeah,
with trophies and stuff, it was always good and easy to work with you on that. You know?
Oh yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun. People want to have fun. All right, Copperhead, be good, man. Make sure
Take it easy.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, good.
he's wanting to come up here, but I don't know. Like I said, I've done it so much, it's just easy. I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm a car guy, so that goes along with it. But
Yeah, right.
we did the I don't know, I guess that salute to the veterans. I like that, doing that better than anything I've done, because I like them guys. Them guys are good.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna have to move it this year. I reckon that bunch over yonder took over the commissioners over at Murphy's. Man, they kicked everybody out over there.
They're doing a really good job messing up this county pretty quick.
I don't understand. Did they not just send back a $50 million school grant?
$50 million, and that giving back that $50 million probably cost us $3. You know, they spent $750,000 on the school plan, and they on the new school they're building. They put the largest commercial kitchen in Cherokee counties in that school. It'll feed like 1,200 people, with the anticipation of putting a consolidated high school there. And because they nixed the plan, we got the expense of that. That school that they just built, they didn't put a gymnasium in it because that was going to go in the new high school. So we're going to end up, I know it's going to end up happening. They're going to end up, because they sent that money back, they're going to end up having to put an addition on there to move the Murphy High School over there, and it's still going to cost us the same money out of pocket. We'll just get less out of it because the $50 million is going.
How many commissioners have they got?
I like Galen Aside. He did a good job over at the airport, and that was a
Galen
a huge event. I think they ended up being 15,000 people plus there just on that one day.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
What they did to Galen was wrong. That was a personal vendetta that two of the commissioners had against Galen.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, what they should have done is, if the contract wasn't legal, renegotiate the contract. It was the same contract they had with the last guy. They just passed it on to Galen. So they should have just rewrote the contract and kept him on, because he's done wonders for that airport.
Yeah, it's hard to make money at the airport. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that or not, but anyway, I don't know. Jim, what have you been doing anyway, man? What was that little car that you posted on Facebook, the little Firebird that looked like it was squished up or something? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, back in 2018, this guy built it, and it's a kind of I'm upstairs today because my wife's got the Super Bowl on. Otherwise, I bring the car out and show you. It's like a abstract version of the Rockford Fiber doing a J-turn, and the guy took a head from a Fonzie thing and recreated it to look like James Garner, and they put it in there, and he made it from kind of putting a couple pieces together and stuff.
It's cool looking.
Yeah, I love it. And I told him, I said, if you ever sell it, let me know, because I'd like to buy it. And so he emailed me last week, or actually Facebooked me, and he asked me about. Said, "Are you still interested?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." So we negotiated a price. He sent it to me, and now it's part of my collection. And I said, "Hey, man, I got it." And he says, "Yeah, I missed it already. I think I'm going to build another one." So it's like
really
cool. Yeah, and I've been working with our Cruising Tigers Pontiac Club.
Yeah.
I gotta say it right. Cruising Tigers, GTO, and All Pontiac Club.
There you
And
go.
so we tomorrow we're opening up our reservations for indoor parking. I forgot how many we have available, and they usually go out within a half a day. It's gone, sold, and they're like $150 a piece. So yeah, my wife and I put together. Actually, she puts together the actual design and everything, and creates the flyer. We're gonna have it printed up now, and then we'll be working on a 4-page flyer once we have everything worked together, schedule-wise for the show, which is on 12th, 13th, and 14th here at Crystal Lake in Illinois, with the Indian Uprising 32nd annual Indian Uprising Car Show, All Pontiac Car Show.
And that's going to be where at now?
Crystal Lake, Illinois, Holiday Inn Crystal Lake.
How far is that from you?
I want to say about 35 miles or so. We used to be closer. It was in at Pheasant Run, but they sold the building and everything, closed it down and stuff. So, and so we used to have a real big facility called the Mega Center where we actually could put in 100 cars, and so now we have about space for like 36 cars right now.
And they fall over. All right, let me see something. Can y'all see that now?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
there you go.
That's really
That's
cool.
Yeah,
I don't see how they made that.
That's pretty.
I think the center section was something that he got, and then he took a model, like a 1/24th scale model, and got the back end, the front end, and then he modifies everything, and
That's
not
awesome
Bondo,
work, ain't
but
it?
whatever they use to do it. But yeah, he did an actually beautiful job on it.
That is crazy. I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could do something like that.
It reminds me of the zingers they had back in the 70s. Remember those things? They were like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, if you look, there's a lot of I call it like a cartoon car, basically.
Right.
And if you watch on Facebook, not Facebook, but on the internet, they have all kinds of T-shirt designs now, and you can buy these little model cars that are all fixed up like that. So, so it's kind of a new trend. I never particularly cared for it, but I saw this and I fell in love with it. And there's other people that build regular 1/24th scale models and 1/18 scale models, but this is so unique. It's like I gotta get it for my collection.
yeah.
I love it, man. But now that car show that you're talking about, that's a big deal. That Pontiac Tigers, what is it now? Tigers?
Cruising Tigers. Yeah, it's a big show. The last one we had in 2019 at Pheasant Run, we had over 600 cars, and then we closed down, and then of course COVID hit, so we had to skip a year. And this will be the first year in the last 4 years that I'm not the chairman this year. I've kind of stepped back. Other people need to do it, get fresh ideas in and stuff like that. So I'm more or less helping as an advisor for the chairman, and also working as part of the publicity stuff, like with the flyers and stuff like that.
Now that's an all Pontiac only, right?
All Pontiac only. Last year we didn't do it. We have a cruise in on Saturday afternoon after 4:00. We have a band called Generations that's going to be playing again this year. We play a lot of 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s music.
Right.
And they got a horn section and everything. It's really cool. And we open the show field up at 4:00, so any muscle car, anybody can come and park in the show field and stuff. And it's really kind of a really cool atmosphere. We have like over 1,000 cars that come. Last year, because unfortunately, the Pontiac, I can't think of the name of it, but there's another big car show that usually is the weekend before ours. Last year, the drag strip where they had the show moved it to the same weekend as our show. We kept our show because we already had all the contracts signed and stuff for the hotel, for the band, and for our vendors and stuff were all set up. So we went against them, and we only had like about 285 cars last year, which is the lowest we've had for years.
Yeah.
And the year before that, we had like 458 cars.
Yeah.
And so this year, their show, it's the Ames Pontiac car show, Norwalk, they were against. Well, they're going to do theirs in July, the month ahead of us.
Okay.
So there will be no conflict of interest on either. So we should get a lot of people.
Yeah.
We get people from all over the country, even Canada, Florida, California, and
That's
stuff.
a big show, especially when it's a one mark, one type of car. Get 600 of the same kind of car show. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and we have 3 feature cars that we have give out awards for on Saturday. This year we're having Firebirds, all GTOs, new and old, and of course we're going to have specialty one is the Pontiac 2+2, which I think was only made from 65, 66, 67. I don't know for sure those, but I think that's what it is.
It's a Pontiac 2+2.
Yep.
Yeah. Boy, man, I looked at one when I was a kid. I went to look at a 59 El Camino, and it was actually Jack Muldowney, Shirley Muldowney's first husband, that had it for sale. And the car wasn't quite nice enough for me to want to buy it. And I was only, I think it was probably 14 or 15 at the time. And he says, I'm going to show you another one. He had a Pontiac 2+2, 421 4-speed car. And man, I wanted that car, but it was like, he wanted I think at the time, it was like $2,500 or $3,000. And all I had was $1,500. It was just, I couldn't afford it, but it was original faded red paint, and a very original bone stock car. It was just kind of, but Jack Muldowney was a heck of a mechanic, and he had quite a collection of old muscle cars and stuff. And had to be probably early 90s.
Yeah, those 2+2s of those years, and even the Grand Prix, which is pretty much look similar to them.
Sure.
I really like those. I mean, they're really big ass cars.
Yeah.
I want one of them Aero coupes, man.
Do you really?
Are they high?
The like the 80s version.
Yeah,
Grand
like
Prix?
this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that things has gone out of sight now.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
The
really.
version.
There's not that many out there either. We don't even. I don't think I've seen one at one of our shows in a while either. So
I used
I
to see
love 'em.
Pontiacs, then he did the Monte Carlos. With,
yeah, Monte
I
Carlos
think,
and
I like the Aero coupe better than do the Monte Carlo.
Yeah, it was weird because Monty did that fastback or that.
That Grand Prix was pretty that year, I think.
yeah, I had an 81 that I really liked.
Is that the
one of the
square
best-
one?
What?
Was that the square one? The 81? Is that square? Or has it got the long hood?
It's still got the long hood. It's similar to the style that one is, except that different front end and back end, I think.
Okay, I got you.
And
Yeah.
I always thought that was one of my best cars for dashboard because everything was just wrapped around you.
Oh, it was
And
beautiful.
console.
Yeah.
And I always like Grand Prix because they're really classy kind of muscle cars.
Yeah.
So
What about the 80 model? I like the square ones, man. I like the square. I mean, it was kind of odd looking car back then, but it was a cool looking rig. That was a weird year for GM anyway. That Monte Carlo 79, 80 Monte Carlo, and then the Grand Prix that year. That was a funny looking cars to me.
in fact, mine was an 81 Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken. SJ. It was
Yeah.
SJ.
That's got
Yeah,
the long
Whenever
hood.
they
It's long
downsized,
hood.
they started downsizing them, then.
78. But I'm saying that Monte Carlo, man, you can't even see the trunk lid on the Monte Carlo. It goes down so quick, They did that.
Yeah. It's funny about that 81 is I had a problem where it would shake after 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I took it to a dealership like 3 or 4 times. And the last time I took it in, they actually had four mechanics, 1 driving and 3 in the car. And I figured it out it was by hydronic balancer, harmonic balancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And after that, the car ran fine.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. There was a guy who had the same problem. He had something was going on with the car, and this is back years ago. And I remember the guy telling me about it. But anyway, nobody could figure out what was going on with it. And it made a weird sound. I never could figure it out. And finally, there was one old mechanic back there in the back, went up there, and he just busted the back window out and drove the car down the road, and it solved the problem. Now, I don't know what the deal was, like the body bend or something was going on with that, but there was something to do with that back window when they put it in. Somehow, I don't remember the whole story. I wished I could remember it, but it was a weird story. And another story where this guy, he bought this Cadillac, and he kept taking it back to the dealership because he kept hearing rattles. And they finally took the left rear door panel off, and one of the guys that built the car put a Coke can in there with a sign that said, "Here's your rattle, you rich SOB."
Yeah. I heard those stories about that too.
Yeah.
We had a Grand Am, and then I had another car. I couldn't remember the same style car, think it was a Chevy version.
Right.
And after a while, when it was hot out, you drive it and it would just die.
Right.
And after it cooled off, it was fine. And I took it to 3 different shops, and they changed the fuel pump, they filter, and they couldn't figure it out. And I worked for a motorhome company at the time, and I was telling my boss about it. And he goes, "Oh yeah, it's this." And I went to my regular mechanics and said, "Hey, can you change this?" And I can't for the life remember what it was called, but it was a very simple fix, and the car ran perfect after that. But nobody else could figure this thing out.
He'd
But
been
he
there
did
and done
because
that.
he'd fixed it on his car.
Yeah.
And so I wish I could remember what the heck it was, but it was just something that wasn't that expensive, but it went out. It was you had to get through the wheel well to get to it, I think, or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
it's just funny how certain cars have certain issues that come back up, and unless you know what the issue is, you end up spending a lot of money trying to fix it.
Chasing your tail, yeah.
Oh, I've got behind on my things. He's Caffeine Octane, man. Now, when is it? Have y'all been down to it? The caffeine and Octane.
No, I heard it's a good one though.
I'd love to
I
go
never
there.
heard of it myself.
It's down in Atlanta. They had it down at one of the malls, and then they lost the place and they moved it. He's got a video behind. Okay, well, we need to see it, Alan. You need to keep up on all that. But I'd like to go down to that. Now, I went to the one they had down there where they have that motocross or autocross. They have it down there. They moved it up there for a weekend, but I think they've got another location they're having it. But that's a huge parking lot they have, plumb full of cars, man.
Yeah, something like 5,000 or 6,000 cars or something, isn't it?
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it's just people come in there from all over. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's like super nice cars all the way down to nothing, and weird cars, and
To 9 or something like that, isn't it? Or 8 to 10 or something. It's real early.
it's on Sundays. I know it's on Sundays.
Yeah, so we got to get up the butt crack of dawn to get down there for a 2-hour ride to get down there.
I'd have to get up earlier than that because of my car. I don't know if it'd make it or not. I'd have to stop and fix it along the way a couple of times. I'd like to go though. I don't know when the next Caffeine and Octane is.
I don't either. I heard the one in Knoxville is real big too.
You got one in Knoxville?
Yeah.
I don't understand why they had to. Let's see here. I've got it. No, this is the Raceway Group. That's the Lanier Raceway Group. That's not the right one. There's. I'd like to go.
Original one, isn't it? The one that started the Caffeine and Octane.
Yeah, it's the original one. Caffeine Octane. When do they show it back down there? Events.
So is this at a building someplace?
They had it down there at a. Okay, here we go. I knew he knew.
They do it at shopping malls, parking lots.
First
usually.
Sunday every month in Kennesaw at Town Center Mall. So that's where it's going to be at the first Sunday of every month at Kennesaw. So there we go. That's where we need to go.
So that'd be going down. We'd go down through Blue Ridge to go there.
Yeah, 515.
You guys keep me posted when you guys go. Maybe I'll take one of my cars.
So let's see here. They've missed his last weekend, obviously, if it's the first Sunday. So it's going to be it'll be the March the 5th, I guess will be the next one.
Okay.
Will
So
you be in
I probably
Florida?
can't make the 5th because
Yeah.
I've got to get ready to go to Florida on the 8th. I can't lay out of church twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get there about 7:30. You take that big Buick with you there? He got a good looking Buick.
No.
I love that Riviera. That's one of my favorite cars, man. Riviera 66. I love a 66 and 67.
Is it the Roadhouse Riviera?
No, it's the big ones. It's my style. I like big cars, man. Yeah.
I was
Like
like
the
that.
hideaway headlights, or does it got the hideaway headlights and stuff?
I don't know if his does. I don't think his got.
I'm talking about that one like Patrick Swayze had in the Roadhouse movie.
That I love that one. I love that one.
I don't
That's
remember.
the small
It's
one.
got to have hideaway headlights. I don't like the two lights.
Right.
Well, they hide away too, though. You know, them lights fold back up in the.
I know they're clam.
Well, the clam ones, and then the
Yep.
next year, one year they fold back up under behind the hood.
Yeah, 66 and 67, I think, did that, right?
I can't keep them apart. That's when they built cool cars, man.
That was all somebody's mind. They didn't have a computer with a little old pen over here,
Right.
Dotting lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's when they had style.
70 Riviera. That's one of the prettiest stories. 61 Cadillac. Either one will be fine. Either one.
Yeah, you're not particular.
Either one. I don't care.
They
Yeah.
were really underappreciated cars for a long time, those Riviera. All those
Yep.
60 on up, it was the
Oh man, they were gorgeous.
That'd be
Yeah.
some stuff hard to find parts for cars there.
Yeah, they were gorgeous. Well, fellas, I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. I know the rest of y'all lay around shack and ain't got to do anything.
Yeah.
I got to get to do work tomorrow too.
My Sean's got plumb late. He don't go to work at 10 o'clock now.
I go in there as well. I went in my normal time a couple of mornings. You seen where I had that van tore down, but you know, there ain't nothing like sleeping in, are they?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Oh, it's wonderful when you
No.
do it. Well, it's been a
Yeah, he
pleasure,
looks like one like
gentlemen.
Scarlett. When I first
Yeah,
met
no
him,
kidding. It was a good time.
Yep. We'll do it next week, man. We'll be
All right.
back bright and
You
early.
got it.
Maybe we can
Hopefully,
get
Copperhead
Alan
gets
on here. I
both
told
arms
him to-
working good.
Let's
Where's
see here.
Flat
Alan.
Grove Garage? Where's Flat
He's,
Grove?
he's
Probably watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I got the Super Bowl. I
write
can
down
see
that
from here.
email. Send me your email and join us next time we're on there, Bo.
That's,
Alan, there it is. There it is. Stephen Phillips 505 at gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll send you a link.
the only sports I'm interested in is if it has wheels on it.
That's me too.
Yeah, I don't care
Yeah.
about
I
football.
like women's mud wrestling pretty good. Y'all don't like women's mud wrestling?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time either.
No.
Mhm.
That and cars.
Yeah, yeah. Drag race, I'll watch it. But sports, just I hold my attention long enough.
I don't watch much sports unless I'm in the stadium. Like baseball, I coach baseball for my son. I'm
Right.
a Cub fan, but it's like I can't. I still want to watch baseball.
I enjoy going to watch it live.
It'd be different. Yeah.
You know, because there's nothing like, you know, to me, like going to a baseball game in baseball. Because I mean, you know, you can't get more American than that.
Yeah.
No, it's true. All you got to do is have a fat wallet for all the beer and
I can't-
Yeah,
food
exactly.
and everything else.
All right, folks, we're out here. Tell everybody bye.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.